confirm me over my phone, so that I am assured that my conversation is reaching to you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I discussed the water pollution in the previous class. Let me discuss, because as per your syllabus, the removal from the of the different kind of pollution is also there. So let me discuss about the different type of removal techniques underwater pollution. Water pollution is, as you know, that geogenic and anthropogenic. So if suppose that I start with the fluoride contamination, then the fluoride, if it is crossing 1.5 ppm, then we call it contamination or the pollution of water due to the high fluoride content. So if the high fluoride is there, certainly as I mentioned you in the previous class, that first time the high fluoride was reported from the Nalgonda district of Telangana nowadays. Earlier it was Andhra Pradesh, but nowadays it is in the Telangana district. So the Nalgonda is the district where the first time high concentration of fluoride was reported in the groundwater, and therefore the removal technique is known as Nalgonda technique, and it is the primary or the premier technique, premier, or you can say the pioneer rather, because it was the first developed. It constitutes a bucket system, and on the top there is a separator in the bucket, and the top the alum is there, layer of alum, Al2O3 into H2O, and then lower one is characterized by the lime, CaO. So these two things are there. You know that the separation of any elements or radicals is controlled by the pH. Therefore, if you know, the alumina, it is basic in nature, while the lime is acidic in nature. Therefore, the maintaining the or balancing the pH of the water, so that reaction starts, decomposition of fluoride which has been dissolved in the water starts, and you can say it is separated out or leached out from the water through the lime. So this is the one technique related to the Nalgonda. It is called Nalgonda technique, and I had already mentioned that under this technique we are using the lime and the, you can say, the alumina on top, followed on the bottom in the bucket it is lime. Then certainly the Center for Scientific Industrial Research, CSIR, developed over the periods a very good techniques related to the fluoride removal. The basic things is same, but they have commercialized it, and on the community basis also, if the tube well is having the high fluoride content, that is there, means the community level treatment plant for fluoride removal. Then from the domestic level, as I mentioned, the bucket system, it reaches to the community level, and then industrial level, means or you can say in the district level, or any water supply which is particularly if you look towards the Chhattisgarh, at Jharkhand, at this you can say the parts of Khadrak area, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, all these, Madhya Pradesh, then you find that the water treatment plant for high fluoride removal has been set up. Okay, and then it is the very good techniques. And then second, we are coming to the arsenic. Removal of arsenic from the water. If you recall properly, in the previous class, I discussed about the, you can say, the arsenic removal from the water only due to the aeration techniques. But there is a, you can say, the technique, the arsenic removal at commercial level or the community level. Arsenic removal plants are there, arsenic removal filters are there. which has been again prepared or developed rather by the Council of Scientific Industrial Research, CSIR. And if you look towards that, the principles of the separation of, or you can say removal of the high arsenic from the water, then the, I have mentioned that two valency states are there for the arsenic occurrence. One is the trivalent and second is the pentavalent. Trivalent arsenic, trivalent arsenic is carcinogenic, while pentavalent arsenic is non-carcinogenic. So if you look towards this separation techniques or removal techniques, and for the arsenic, there is one technique, aeration, and under the open air, if you are putting the water enriched with the arsenic, but what is the permissible limit? You know, it is the 10 ppb parts per billion in the for the drinking water. But if suppose that the water which is having the more than 10 ppb, means 15 or 16 ppb, then what is happening? It means it is also problematic, carcinogenic. So for that purpose, if the limit is exceeded by 5 ppm, then open aeration can take care of it. Because if you are putting the bucket of water in the open, under open sky or open in the air, then what is happening? Oxidation starts of the water, and trivalent arsenic changes into the pentavalent arsenic. Therefore, the concentration of trivalent arsenic is minimized and it becomes non-carcinogenic. But if suppose that 100 ppb or 80 ppb, as I mentioned, that if arsenic occurrence in the 24th district Pargana district, 24th district Pargana district of West Bengal, where it was first reported, then other parts of the districts in the many states in the country, which are characterized by the high higher concentration of this arsenic. Then in that case, if 100 ppb, 80 ppb or 50 ppb when concentrations are there of the arsenic in the water, we cannot take care of it by the aeration technique only. So for that purpose, we require the larger treatment plant, means the treatment plant at commercial level, or the attachment of the filter with the hand pumps or the tubes which are having the higher concentration of the arsenic. The principles of the arsenic removal is that still we have to think which element has the association of arsenic. Then the answer is there are iron plus 3, Fe3 and Fe2. These are the two valency states of iron. And then if the arsenic 3 is so replaced by the ferric form of the iron, then certainly we have to choose or select the like magnetite or hematite based stratum, or is where we can put the water and then reaction starts and substitution starts of the arsenic. The problem of any filter or device is that as on date, and then the other techniques are also there for removal. Then is the biological techniques, the different types of the you can say the compounds are there, biological organic compounds which can consume the arsenic from the water. And then second is the you can say this under biological techniques, means certain plants are there which can absorb the water from their roots, which can be helpful in reducing the arsenic concentration uh, in the groundwater. So if you look the chemical treatment, then the biological treatment, nowadays the nanoparticles of the different compounds are being used to remove the arsenic from the water. You might have listened the news or the articles published in the newspaper or through other website. Then if you go through it, then you find that the arsenic is being removed from the use of nanoparticles, and the activated carbon is also playing vital role. Activated carbon. Now, I am audible to you, so I would like to ask: Are you getting the Bharat? Bharat, Bharat. My question is: please listen to the question and reply through chat. Uh, that if Bharat is listening to me, my question is that what do you understand by activated carbon? What is the difference between the carbon and activated carbon? Ria, what is the difference between the carbon and activated carbon? Sachin, Sachin, just if you are knowing it, reply whatever. If you are replying through the chat, either you are yes or no, and if you are knowing it, you type it. Ravi Sharma, Raj, yes. So let me check
Yes,
the
sir.
answer. Activated carbon is processed carbon. Ria replied, I activated carbon can adsorb. Both Sasank Singh is also correct. I, Harshita Agrawal. It is the carbon having large surface area available for adsorption. Most of the students who have replied are correct. And yes, both the things are there because it is the carbon having large surface area. May I ask, and Ria has also replied, activated carbon is processed carbon. Certainly, I agree. And Sasank is also correct that activated carbon can adsorb. Adsorb. Adsorb लिखना चाहिए था, adsorb लिख दिया है, तो adsorb होगा केवल. So many students are replying, but let me come to the idea. But my point is that why it is getting large surface area. Now, anyone, please answer with the through the chart. Why, as Harshita is correctly replied that it is a carbon having large surface area. My now next question is why it is having the large surface area. Anyone? Bharat Kumar. What the Bharat Kumar has replied at me, because it has small pores and less volume. Uh, but my point is again, Divyanshu, because it is porous. No, 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 no. Only due to pores, the surface area does not increase. On increasing area, adsorption increases. Sasank says you are correct, but my question was different. Certainly, adsorption will increase when the open area increases or surface area rather increases. So, but my question is why this is having the large surface area or higher surface area? Very simple question I have asked. If you put your attention or logically you think, you may reply. Anyone? Ria, Harshita replied. What she is replying? Let me, because it has greater capacity. No, 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 no. It is. I am asked. My question is different. What Sasank has replied, same thing Harshita has replied. My point is why it has large surface area. पहले तो इसका कारण बताना है ना. ये तो पता है कि अगर इसका लार्ज सरफेस एरिया है तो ज्यादा एडजस्टमेंट होगा, कैपेसिटी इसकी ज्यादा हो. आई एम आस्किंग व्हाई एक्टिवेटेड कार्बन हैज larger surface area than normal carbon, unprocessed carbon. Anyone? Yes. Rio K. Canaria. Let me see. but very small particles up to some extent. But I am asking the reason. Yes, Priyank Canaria is correct. Dhamraj, okay, okay. Wait. It is a surface area to volume ratio is large. Very good. Because it is hollow, it is available. Krishna Sunis is telling it is available. Therefore, it is powdered. Yes. So almost now let me summarize it. Ishita has also replied up to some extent is correct. When the fine grain, it is powder, then surface area is certainly increases. It is a very simple thing. I told you that it is a very simple thing. Okay. If it is powder, the surface area certainly increases. And activated carbon is a very fine grained carbon in the form of powder. Therefore, its surface area has higher surface area. Yes. So let me proceed that I told you that how we can help the people by removal of there are two aspects under the water pollution or treatment, rather protection from the one thing is protection from the water pollution. Second is treatment or removal is different than the protection. We all must have to make out all the efforts to remove the contaminants from the polluted water, but simultaneously we should also think that the fresh water is protected from any type of pollution, contamination. So if you look towards it, then certainly it will be. Then let me discuss about the this iron contamination. Iron contamination. Iron contamination. What is the problem with the iron contamination? Anyone? What is the problem? Anyone? What are the problems related to the iron contamination? Iron contamination is also geogenic, natural. Iron, fluoride, arsen. So, what are the problems related to the high concentration of iron? Anyone? 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 अरे पढ़ा चुका हूँ, पूछ रहा हूँ आपसे. I have already taught you this higher iron concentration, and anybody can tell what is the permissible limit of iron in drinking water? Anyone? Yes.
Sir, 1 to 3 milligrams per liter.
Yes, 0.3 ppm, correct. Iron gives us bad taste, correct. Only bad taste. No, apart from the bad taste, something else. Arshita is also correct. 0.3 mg liter, चाहे ppm बताइए, सब ठीक है. Bharat Kumar, it can cause precipitation stone in kidney. Up to certain extent, I am agreeing with him, but not correct. Something else problem is related to it. No. Ria is incorrect. That oxyhemoglobin process is decreased. It is due to the higher concentration of nitrate. It is not due to the higher iron. Anybody? Priyank Canaria. Priyank Canaria, your point is wrong. Related to the 1 to 3 mg liter, आप guess कर रहे हो. You are guessing it. No, already I have told that the students have already correctly replied regarding the permissible limit. Bluish brown color to water gastrointestinal problem. Yes, Divyanshu is correct. Correct. Gastrointestinal problem. Very good. It bluish brown and changes the color of the water. Amisha. Besides color, I was asking what are the health hazards. And Divyanshu has correctly pointed out, or rather replied, that it creates the gastrointestinal problem. Now the chapter is closed. Chapter means this question is closed now because answers I have got from you. And let me come towards the other pollutions like nitrate pollution. How we can protect the water from the higher concentration of the nitrate? Can anyone tell? What are the measures? What are the approach which we should adopt for you can say minimize the nitrate concentration in the water? Anyone? Anyone? How we can protect? Tell me first what is the permissible limit of the nitrate for the drinking purpose, and what are the health hazards, and how we can protect it? Out of these three questions, anyone can reply. Anyone, in any part of part or any out of these three, anyone or all the three? Well, very good. Priya has already replied about the permissible limit, that is 44 ppm. Yes, it is 45 ppm. Correct. To stop the leakage from septic tank, Divyansh Narayan is also correct. Using reverse osmosis, ion exchange, and distillation. Reverse osmosis can help. Ion exchange can help, but not distillation process cannot help. Limit the use of fertilizers in the farm. Very good. Divyansh Narayan is correct. By osmosis method was we can decrease the nitrate concentration. Harshita is also correct, but it is the reverse osmosis, not only osmosis. Reverse osmosis process is helpful. Yes, to take the septic system and drainage system on the top priority, then followed by the minimum use of the chemical fertilizers, as the Narayan has replied both these things. So very good, Divyans. Let me move forward about the other contaminants and their removal. Like, if you suppose that I discussed that the industrial effluents which are responsible for the different type of pollution, and I take leather industry, suppose that chromium, if anybody is from Kanpur, chromium pollution is very vulnerable in Rania area near Kanpur city, and industrial area is there, Rania, and where we are facing lot of problems related to the high chromium in the groundwater. And if you look towards the high chromium, the chromium is cardiovascular diseases, and chromium is also higher chromium is the carcinogenic, cancerous. So how we can combat or mitigate the leather industry is responsible for high chromium, because sorry, in the early days we did not put our attention or give attention towards the treatment of the effluents from these leather industries, and therefore over the periods it enriched the it enriched means the groundwater was enriched with the higher chromium concentration. And I am taking this example of Kanpur, and if you anyone is nearby Kanpur or in and around or from the Kanpur, then he or she can realize. If you have not heard, I am telling to you, the groundwater in and around the Rani area is very problematic. It is highly polluted by the chromium. And when you are using the certain chemicals for signing up in the leather industry, for signing up the processed leather, in that the chromium rest compounds are there, which is responsible for higher concentration of chromium in the groundwater. Particularly in the river Ganga is flowing also near Kanpur, so the Ganga water industries are warned. Why it happened? Because Ganga is not having the higher concentration of the high chromium, but the groundwater is having the higher concentration of the this higher chromium, because the industries which are existing near to the river bank of Ganga are in Rania area. The government was so much strict that industries were monitored frequently regarding their effluents and the quality of the effluents. But as far as this pouring down of the effluents on the ground surface is concerned, people were not bothered about it, because people were putting the attention that the flow should not reach to the river Ganga. But then what was there? The options. What they did, they pour down on the surface, land surface, and the population starts, and then over the period, it polluted or contaminated the fresh groundwater, and it is not possible to rehabilitate the aquifer, which the groundwater, where the groundwater is present. So, what happened during this thing, that so many research works have been carried out to mitigate this problem of the high chromium uh, in and around the Kanpur. But if you look towards the nanoparticles of certain bacteria. There are two options: chemical through nanoparticle, nano compounds, and the bacteria. Certain bacteria are there, and which is responsible. They eat the high chromium compounds, which have been, you can say, trapped under the soil, in the soil. So this is one aspect. And if you look towards the vulnerability of the chromium, it is very high as far as health hazards is concerned. Okay. Then, if you look towards chromium की valency states कितनी है? Please tell. In how many valency states chromium occurs? Coagulation method is also proposed. Coagulation method is also helpful. What do you mean by the coagulation? Anyone? Coagulation. Answer. What do you mean by the coagulation? Chromium is present in drinking water source, naturally occurring or anthropogenic in many countries throughout the world. Elevated concentration of chromium in drinking water causes, as I have already mentioned it, such as coagulation followed by the filtration, ion exchange, adsorption, and membrane filtrations are implied. So far, कहाँ जा रहे हैं? So I got the answers from this Divyans Narayan. Clotting nahi, coagulation. Clotting, clotting is not blood clotting process. अच्छा क्रोमियम से जो हेल्थ हजार से उसको बता रहे हैं. Neutralization of positons causes coagulation. Coagulation is technique for the removal of the chromium from the water. Mainly important is adsorption and membrane filtrations are very important. Okay. Uh, so any treatment which I mentioned, ion exchange, adsorption, and membrane filtration, uh, there are certain limitations, and there, if the limitations are there, certainly it is you have to think many times. Each filtration technique, each treatment rather technique, removal technique has its own limitation. So the coagulation filtration combined together, if coagulation is also there, filtration is also there, then it will, with the reduced iron second, means the Fe2, most commonly used for the removal of high chromium. An effective method for the chromium removal from the water means क्या करना है, coagulation के साथ filtration and उसके साथ reduced iron लगाना है, जिसके साथ जिसके वजह से chromium will be released from the water. Adsorptive filtration and ion exchange are suitable for small scale applications. Means domestic purposes के लिए ion exchange adsorptive filtrations can be there, but membrane technology is effective in removing both hexavalent and trivalent. Here I had questions to you that how many valency states of the chromium which generally occur in the water. Here it is, I am telling to you that it is hexavalent and trivalent. And fouling of the membrane should be given due consideration, and the removal process should be combined with removal of other contaminants to justify the associated cost. Means if you look towards the this phenomena, then hexavalent chromium is more carcinogenic than trivalent chromium. So our aim is removal of hexavalent chromium, and you can get the number of literatures on this removal of hexavalent chromium from drinking water. If you type it, immediately you get it. So adsorbent and because the techniques is slightly different for the removal of chromium 3 and chromium 6 hexavalent. So therefore, removal of chromium 3, then what we do in the chromium, the aims to find the chromium 3 removal from the water under different treatments of pH, adsorbent doses, contact time, agitation speed, multi-wall carbon nanotubes. Here, I was telling you the nanotubes, I was forgetting the name. Carbon nanotubes are very much effective now. Multi-wall carbon nanotubes, MW-CNTS, it is called multi-wall carbon nanotubes, which are very effectively responding for the removal of the high chromium from the groundwater. The diameter of the carbon nanotubes is 20 to 40 nanometer with average diameter of 24 nanometer and 10 micrometer in the length. You see the how much very small size. Adsorption isotherms were used to model the adsorption behavior and to calculate the adsorption capacity of the absorbents. Okay. So the results showed that 18% of the chromium removal means there was such a research studies, 18% of the chromium 3 removed by modified carbon nanotubes, MCNTS, at pH 7. So we have to first utilize the pH so that reaction starts with this multi-wall carbon nanotubes, and then the 2 hours for a dose of 150 milligram of this CNTS, means the carbon nanotubes. The removal of the chromium 3 is mainly attributed to the affinity of the chromium to the physical and chemical properties of CNTS. Means the nanocarbon tubes or nanocarbon, they adsorb this chromium 3 and show that in this, due to this process, it is removed. So just because it is in your syllabus that how we can clean the water, and our aim is provide the fresh water to the people for as far as domestic use is concerned. So all out efforts should be made in the country or at the level of individuals or the community that we must protect the water from the pollution, either it is surface water or groundwater. And on the other hand, we must adopt the techniques for the different removal techniques for the treatment of the polluted water. So with these, is there any questions to anyone? You can ask through the chat. Anyone? Any questions by anyone? So if you have no questions, I leave the meeting. Thank you very much. Yes, yeah. Sir, can you upload these PDFs? I did not discuss RIA with the PDF. I discussed extempore these things. Only I certain parts in the last I just got from the website. Otherwise, most of the things during the deliberations I explained extempore. So therefore, if you go through the website and type that chromium removal, so many articles you can get it. And therefore, I certainly I will later in the future. This what I deliberated today. It is not. I did not see any PDF. I discussed. I means explained all these things extempore without seeing any paper. And then in the last, I discuss with the only one para, which I just downloaded from the Google, that chromium removal, hexavalent and trivalent removal, chromium removal from the water. So thank you very much. Thank you all.